All right, let's pull back the curtain on artificial intelligence. AI can feel like magic, right? But the way it actually learns is surprisingly simple. So let's dive right in and see how this whole thing really works. I mean, have you ever stopped to think about it? How does your phone know your face, like instantly, and just your face? Or how does your email inbox somehow catch all that spam before you even see it? It's not some person hiding in there, obviously. It's a smart system that's been taught. But how exactly does that teaching happen? Well, the entire process, and I mean all of it, hinges on one single, kind of secret ingredient. It's the fuel, it's the food, it's the textbook for every single AI out there. And that ingredient? It's something we call data. Okay, I know the word data can sound a little, I don't know, technical, maybe a bit intimidating, but it's really not. Just think of it as information. That's it. It's just a huge collection of examples that the AI uses to learn from. It's basically the raw material, the food that we feed the AI to help it get smart. And here's the thing. You're creating this data all the time without even thinking about it. Yeah, you. Every time you watch a video on YouTube or you hit that like button, you're creating a little piece of information. You're basically telling the system, hey, I like this stuff. And guess what? That's data. Or let's go back to that spam filter we were talking about. Every single time you click Mark as spam, you're actually giving a lesson. You're providing a super important example teaching the AI what junk mail looks like. That one click from you is a piece of data that helps make the system smarter for literally millions of other people. Here's another one. Think about tagging your friends in photos online. When you do that, you're creating an incredibly powerful piece of data. You're telling the system, hey, see this specific pattern of pixels right here? That's my friend Sarah. You're giving it a labeled example, and for an AI, that is absolute gold. It's the best kind of data for learning. Okay, so we've got all this data, right? Your YouTube likes, your spam reports, tagged photos. Now what? Well, now comes the really cool part. It's time for school. This is where we actually start teaching the machine. Now, you've probably heard this buzzword thrown around a lot, machine learning. It sounds complicated, but all it really means is that instead of a programmer writing millions of rules, like if an email has the word lottery, then it's spam, we do something way smarter. We just show the computer thousands of examples and let it figure out the patterns on its own. It's learning from experience, pretty much just like we do. The best way to think about it is like teaching a little kid to recognize a cat, right? You're not going to sit them down with a biology textbook. No way. You just show them picture after picture of cats. You point and say, cat, cat, cat. And after a while, their brain starts to pick up on the pattern, the pointy ears, the whiskers, the tail. AI learns in exactly the same way. And here's the key. Volume matters a lot. The more examples the AI gets to see, the better it becomes at spotting those patterns all on its own. It just sifts through massive, and I mean massive, amounts of these examples and slowly builds up its own understanding. This whole process, that's what we call training. So, okay, our AI has gone to school, it's studied thousands, maybe even millions of examples. Training is done. But how do we know if it actually learned anything? I mean, was it paying attention? Well, now it's time for the final exam. And this part is absolutely crucial. Think of it like this. Training is the study session. The AI gets to see the examples and the answers. It sees an email and we tell it, yep, that one's spam. But testing, that's the final exam. We show it brand new emails it has never seen before and we just ask, okay, what do you think this one is? This is how we find out if it can actually apply what it's learned. I mean, it just makes sense, right? If your teacher put the exact same questions from the homework onto the final exam, you wouldn't have to really learn anything. You just memorize the answers. Well, it's the exact same for an AI. We have to test it on stuff it hasn't seen before to make sure it's actually smart and not just really good at memorizing. The test has to be fair. So let's just boil this whole journey down to 3 simple steps. Step 1, feed it data. We show the AI thousands, millions of training examples. Step 2, give it a test. We check how good it is with brand new testing data. And step 3, if it passes the test, we let it work. It's ready for the real world. And when I say the real world, I really mean your world. This whole 3-step process, data, training, testing, it's happening behind the scenes of the tech you use every single day. Let's look at a few examples you'll definitely recognize. You know when YouTube recommends your next video? The one that's just perfect. That's an AI at work. It was trained on your watch history and the history of millions of other people. It learned the patterns. Like, hey, people who watch this video also seem to really like that video. So it makes a really good guess that you'll like it too. And yep, we're coming full circle, right back to that spam filter. It passed its test. It proved it could spot the telltale signs of spam in new emails. So now it gets to stand guard over your inbox, using everything it learned to keep all that junk out. Your phone's Face Unlock is, well, it's an absolutely amazing example of this. First, an AI had to be trained on a gigantic data set just to learn what a human face even looks like in general. Then it learned the very specific patterns of your face. And now it can spot you, and only you, in a split second. It's incredible. So what's the big takeaway from all this? When you really break it down, it's a pretty simple idea. AI gets smart by learning from information that we call data. We train it by showing it tons and tons of examples. Then we test it with new stuff to see if it actually learned its lesson. And that simple process is what powers so much of the amazing tech you use every single day. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought, doesn't it? If an AI is only as smart as the data we feed it, if it's just a reflection of the examples we show it, well, that puts a whole lot of responsibility on our shoulders. So maybe the biggest question isn't just what can AI learn, but what should we teach it next?